So labor is a pivotal aspect of the overall economy. So the role and responsibility of an assistant labor commissioner comes here.
Jai Jagat, dear audience, I'm Shah Umar, the student coordinator of The Voices. Welcome to the fourth episode of The Voices, where Aryan Singh, the social media head of The Voices team, is going to be indulged in an amazing conversation with Mr. Prakhar Singh. He has secured All India Rank 10 in the National Labour Service examination and is soon going to join as an Assistant Labour Commissioner. This podcast is a combo of whatever a UPSC aspirant needs to watch. I highly advise all of you to please watch this episode from the starting till the end.
Greetings, Prakhar sir. Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
podcast. How's your day going on?
So far, so good. It's been a surreal moment for me to be here among my juniors in the principal room. So it's a great opportunity for me
Yes.
to address you all. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So, sir, what motivated you to choose government service as your career and basically assistant labor commissioner?
Yeah. See, government service in India is quite an important service if we look from the domain of the work which a government servant undertakes. And if you look at the syllabus, if you talk about the civil services exam, the syllabus is mostly about the humanities subject and it pertains to the general knowledge. So back in my school days, I was quite interested in the general knowledge. I used to read a lot. I used to participate in quizzes. So my basic introduction to government service came from then only. I had some of the bureaucrats in my family as well who motivated me. Their work motivated me. So I decided that okay, this is a particular service I would want to go.
Yes. Okay. So, can you also please describe the role of a labor commissioner?
Yeah. So this assistant labor commissioner is initial post in the central labor service. There are various levels, but if the direct recruitment is done from the competitive All India competitive examination conducted by the Union Public Service Commission, it happens 2 to 3 years because the vacancies are very less. So this time there were around 29 vacancies. So the responsibility of an assistant labor commissioner is mostly to maintain harmonious relation between the workers and the management. So if we talk about the economy as a whole, there are four factors of production. This land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. But the labor is the only living factor of production. And given the economy, booming economy or the vision of the government of India to make it more developed in the coming days. So labor is a pivotal aspect of the overall economy. So the role and responsibility of an assistant labor commissioner comes here.
Yeah. So, sir, can you also give some tips and tricks to our audience about how to prepare for a competitive examination?
See, competitive examination demands more of a discipline than knowledge.
Agreed.
Okay, so given any competitive examination, if you talk about this civil services examination, or for that matter, the central labor service examination, the syllabus is quite understandable. There's no, as we say in a cliche language, there's no rocket science there. It's mostly history, geography, economics, all the basic sciences. And when you study that, what demands is that it gets monotonous at a certain time. Okay, so uh, we have to study NCRT books from 6th to class 12th. Okay, so and we have to read between the lines. So this habit of reading between the lines to develop an analytical mind. You know, if you study in class 10 or 12th, you might not have analytical perspective of any topic. But if you study for civil services or any government service for that matter, uh, the analytical role comes into picture here. You have to look at the any particular topic, um, to look at the various dimensions of it, to understand that what would be the role of that particular topic in the overall nation as a whole. So that's where it's also interesting. It's also uh, more creative for a student to
Right.
read all this.
Okay. And how did your parents and school supported you in this venture?
Parent support was quite, I would say,
A
uh,
big thing.
quite big thing, but also quite tedious because for me, I took a lot of attempts to clear this exam. They had to undergo a lot of what we say, the kind of society we have. There were societal jibes at my parents' also, that their son is unemployed for a long period of time despite studying from such a good school, but they never gave up on me. So the support of parents comes very crucial with respect to any preparation which demands uh, long amount of time, dedication, effort, and you have to stay unemployed for a while. So this is where parents were very helpful. They kept me motivated, and they never made me feel that I'm any less than any other student, or for that matter, any other candidate around me.
Yes. And also, what challenges do you anticipate while you are working as an assistant labor commissioner?
Right now, what challenges, since I've not joined the post, the challenges I can understand from the picture of talking to my seniors who are there in the service. Mostly it's about balancing the interests of the workers and the management. So in India, we have more than 92% of unorganized workers who don't come within the ambit of labor laws. And if you talk about any, like suppose there is this uh, BD making industry, or there is any uh, carpet industry, all these workers are left behind. So what is important is to maintain the balance between the workers. Also, India is a growing economy. We have to also understand that ease of doing business is also important for small scale industries as well. But we have to make sure that the policies are made such that the interests of workers and the management is both being balanced at the same time.
Yeah, so, and what happiness do you derive from such public service?
Public service gives you happiness. More than that, it gives you contentment that you're contributing to the nation as a whole. Any public service uh, should be done only when you have that feeling inside you that, okay, fine, I have to contribute. Because if you go into any software industry, the package is quite high, 45, 50 lakh, if you join Google or Microsoft. But in public service, any civil service, the package is not that high. The motivation and dedication should come from within, that okay, fine, I can let go all the materialistic things around me and focus on the public service. I have to focus on making sure that the people around me are safe and secure. They are made sure that social justice or equitable justice is ensured to them. The fundamental rights of the Constitution of India is there available to them, and they're not left behind from any other citizen of this country. So this is where public service motivates you. It should come from within.
Yes. Now, for the audience, can you describe your 1 day prior of UPSC examination? Like, what strategies did you opted for that?
Okay, so if we talk about the written examination,
Yeah.
uh, my preparation lasted for around 7-8 months. So I had made mistakes earlier in earlier attempts as well. So this time I made sure that I stayed disciplined. I made sure that I make small targets instead of earlier what was I make doing that I was making long monthly targets, even yearly targets. So you're not able to complete all that, and when you're not able to complete, you get frustrated. So rather than that, I used to make very small targets, suppose as weekly targets, maximum weekly targets, and I have to make sure that I complete them. Instead of some people have this practice of doing spending 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day in studies. So I didn't practice that because it's not practically possible to maintain that consistency for over a week. Instead of that, I made sure that whatever target I had set for the day, I completed. So this was my basic strategy.
Okay, so which topic was difficult for you in that examination?
Since I was very new to the labor laws, there were around, I think, more than 20 labor laws. So the syllabus was given by UPSC just a month before the examination. So
Yes.
there were the new 4 labor codes are being introduced by the government of India, which have not been implemented yet. They are set to be implemented next year in April 2025. So they introduced that in the syllabus as well. We were already studied 29 labor laws, which were there in the syllabus. Plus, they added 4 new labor codes, and we were given only 1 month. So
Yes.
that was quite challenging for me to, because things were overlapping. There were new definitions, new set of topics were there, but somehow I got through.
So, sir, a student should strike a balance between studies and extracurriculars.
Right.
How did you like implemented that thing?
For me, my hobbies were reading. I used to read and write a lot. I'm also a freelance writer. I also published a book of myself, mainly pertains to quotes and poems. So my hobby was mostly to write whatever I used to observe, whatever I used to see around myself. I used to pen down it. So this was the basic hobby which helped me to ease my pressure of my mind. Um, I should have got any physical sport as well as a hobby, but since there were not many people around my home, or all my friends were employed somewhere, so I couldn't practice that any sport. But yes, the hobbies were mostly indoor activities, and which helped me in keeping the stress off my mind.
Okay, sir. So, like, what genre of books you liked the most?
I mostly read non-fiction, the books pertaining to history,
Yeah.
historical fiction, historical non-fiction, and books related to astronomy. I like to read about space, the outer space, and mostly about social issues, be it economy, be it about the gender economics related to feminism. All these books I like to read.
Okay. So, sir, like, what do you think about the role of the young people in our society for the building of our nation?
The young people's India's demography is mostly about the young people only. Most of the young people comprise the demographic population of the country, and the role of youth is multifaceted. If we talk about, and only because of education, because until and unless education is reaching the far-flung areas of the country, it's trickled down to the lowest part, even the below poverty line. So education plays a very important role, and this is where the youth who are coming into the society, who are like you all will be joining the workforce in few years from down the line from here, and your role is very crucial in the overall nation building, in helping to understand, in making awareness around you, because the education you are being imparted, is going to transform not only you but also people around you.
Yes.
So you have to make sure that whatever you are studying, whatever education is being imparted to you, that reaches, that spreads out. So that is very important.
Yeah. So, sir, in competitive examination, it is known that it is a very lengthy examination. So, how did you manage your time on that particular day?
The competitive examination, this is surely lengthy, but is a process. See, suppose if I take an example of a test match can last for one day also, and could go on for 4 days as well. You have to maintain discipline there. You have to maintain the presence of mind has to be there. You have to be as active as you were on day one, as you are active on the day four, or day five of a test match. So it's a kind of a test match. You have to be consistent. You have to not get bogged down by, there will be distractions around you. There will be distractions about various other exams. Maybe there is a short exam which is giving you a good package, or giving you, short term happiness,
Yes.
that you will be able to achieve it. But it's the larger goal, it's the vision that, okay, fine, this is particular exam I want to undertake and I will clear it. So you have to maintain that kind of discipline. You have to be persistent. You have to have perseverance in that respect.
Yeah, sir. So, like, basically, if I take my example as a student, in our paper, there are different sections in an examination paper.
Yeah.
So, sir, it is like to plan that for this section, I have to allot this much time, and for that section, I have to allot that much time. So, what do you think, like, according to MCQs and written portion, what time should be allotted?
I think this would come from the practice. Um, any examination, suppose what you are talking about, this different sections and how to manage it. The mock papers you give before the examination, the examination that are held in the school are also on the same lines. They are the same section, same objectives, and the same kind of, the structure of the examination is same. So the more number of mock papers you practice, the more it gets inherently developed inside you. That, okay, fine, the time management, all these things would come subconsciously on its own.
Yes.
You don't have to force yourself. Okay, fine, this is for particular section I have to dedicate 15 minutes, then I have to dedicate 30 minutes. Don't do that. Instead, make let your practice build you. Okay, as it says that practice makes a man perfect. So let that practice help you in that
Okay.
zone.
So, like, what were your strategies for performing such practices which helped you in cracking the examinations?
uh, I undertook a lot of mock papers. I think there were more than 60 or 70 mock tests which I undertook, and which helped me to develop my speed. Because on the day of the examination, the recent changing trends in the UPSC is that they're making questions of long paragraphs.
Yeah.
You take around 1 minute in reading the question. Okay, so there were 120 questions and there was only 120 minutes. So per question you have given 1 minute only. Okay, so you have to build that speed, that reading speed, and that reading speed comes from the school itself. As you grow, as you keep reading, if I remember during my school days, there was this in the class, the teacher makes you stand up and make you read a particular passage. So all this reading speed comes from there. The analytical thinking comes from there. So slowly and steadily, you develop that skill.
Okay. So, any particular book you would recommend our audience to read?
Since my audience is comprises of students, I would request you to read a book, um, The Experiments of My Truth, The Experiments of Truth by Mahatma Gandhi ji, the autobiography of him. Another book would be um, Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. It talks about the evolution of humankind from the Neanderthals to the current generation. Uh, I would also request you to read the books by APJ Abdul Kalam. They're very inspiring. They're very helpful in making you aware of how important you are to the nation. He talks a lot about motivation. He talks a lot about the role of youth in the nation building. So these are few books I would request my audience to read.
Okay, sir. So, sir, like if you are given a power to change one thing about our country, what will be that thing and why?
I would focus more on the education, because I think for any country, education plays the most important role, um, be it about economic development, social development, or even the political development. Um, Education, we in the city Montessori school, or we are given quality education. But what about the people who are the below poverty line, who are in the rural areas? Are they being given the similar kind of education? The answer would be not really. So I would make sure that education reaches all the far-flung areas, all the areas which are not accessible. There are cases of girls drop out, the cases of sanitation which is not accessible. All this because there are schools which are far from the areas of rural households, and girls are made to drop out. So I would make sure that be it boy or be it girl, all these children are able to get quality education, because unless and until quality education is being imparted, the more people will not come out in the uh, social structure or the political structure as well. It would help the overall country to develop in all the dimensions. So education is very crucial.
Yes. Any other loopholes you find in our education system?
See, loophole is mainly about the quality education. The loophole is also about the teachers as well. In many schools, and the teachers are below par. We have seen various surveys. If we talk about the ASER survey, uh, which is conducted by, I think, a NGO named as Pratham, and its survey comes every 1 year. So it talks about how the teachers are also lacking the quality, uh, how lacking the educational criteria to teach students. Their students are not able to recite the tables of 2, 3, 4, everything. So this we have to make sure that okay, a particular comprehensive or robust framework is made for the teachers to make sure that quality teachers are teaching students, because the student learns from the teacher only.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for being with us in the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you
much.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so today's podcast for me was a very fruitful experience, and I hope that will go for same for you also. Please do subscribe our channel and like this video, and also follow us on our Instagram handles. Till then, bye bye.